If you are depending on traditional retirement investment vehicles as your main solution to investing towards a comfortable retirement, then you are in trouble. Watch this video to the end as I explain why and what you can do about it. You are watching the Financial Metaverse. There are three primary sources that the average person relies on in order to save towards a comfortable retirement. That is, number one, the employer-funded pension fund, otherwise known as the 401k in the US. Number two, a privately funded retirement, known as a retirement annuity or the IRA in the US. And number three, the state-sponsored pension, available to those whom the state considers don't have sufficient income to afford the basic necessities of life. Now, if you are relying on any or all of these three sources for your retirement, you are in for a shock of your life. Simply take a look at everybody that you know that is retired and use these primary sources as a retirement vehicle. Me personally, all of the people that I know that are retired, yes, I mean all the people that I know that are retired, are able to retire comfortably. Now, these instruments are not going to achieve the kind of growth that you require to be able to accumulate sufficient capital to produce an income that will enable you to live the life that you desire. These instruments are not designed to outperform real inflation. I mean real inflation, not the one that we are told by governments, which is Consumer Price Index. The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, is used to calculate the general rise in prices of consumer goods and not the rise in prices of desirable assets, such as precious metals like gold, silver, platinum, and other precious commodities like oil and gas and so forth. It does not calculate the rise in prices of assets like property, land, valuable art, and now more recently, cryptocurrency. So if you are serious about investing your money towards a comfortable retirement, then the real inflation you should be concerned about is the inflation of desirable assets, as I've explained. This inflation will always be higher than consumer inflation because scarce and desirable assets will always appreciate more in value than consumer goods. If you are using most of your hard-earned money to acquire consumer goods, these are things like vehicles, electronic equipment like personal computers, laptops, smart TVs, smartphones. I can't even believe how much the average smartphone costs nowadays. I mean, the new iPhone 14 Pro, you're looking at upwards of 30,000 in rands. And the average person is buying and consuming these things. Instead of using the majority of one's funds to accumulating scarce and desirable assets, these are things like precious metals, cryptocurrency, shares in valuable companies, land, property, and so forth. So if you're not doing those things, you simply won't be able to accumulate enough capital to be able to retire comfortably. So when I started analyzing what my peers are doing, I realized that if I don't do something radically different, I'm going to end up where the people who are retired are, and where they are is not where I want to be. I want to be able to retire financially free and be able to do things that bring joy and gladness to my life and, be able to give generously. And you won't be able to do that if you have not prepared adequately to be able to retire financially free. So here are three things that you must do if you want to be able to retire comfortably. And this is more pressing for those who are 35 and older to be able to start doing these things right now. Number one, you need to start aggressively investing in real assets. Real assets, as I've explained, are things like physical property that you own or have a stake in, precious metals like gold, silver, cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin, or equity in a company that you have some or a significant amount of control in. Number two, acquire skill or knowledge that you can use to sell to the marketplace in return for an income. Number three, related to number two, is you should be able to use that skill or knowledge to start a business, become an entrepreneur, and gradually transition as you get closer to retirement to utilizing that skill or knowledge to earn a full-time income post-retirement. So the greatest misconception is that when you get to a certain age that has been predetermined by governments across the world, that you are no longer valuable enough to be able to work full-time. I don't know where they came up with these notions that at 65 or 70, you should stop working full-time and put your feet up and become dormant and so on. Statistics prove that those people that don't engage in meaningful vocation post-retirement die very quickly after retirement. So the notion of thinking that after you retire, you're going to put your feet up and relax and do nothing the whole day is the quickest ticket towards the grave. So you need to be able to have a plan, a clear plan in terms of what you are going to do post-retirement that is meaningful to you personally, that will stimulate your mind and your body. Because this body is not designed to be passive and dormant. It's designed to be actively engaged in doing those things that will benefit you, the people that you care about and are responsible for, and society at large. Don't fall into the narrative that when you reach the age of 55 or 60 or whatever your government or company has decided is the retirement age, that life stops for you and you're just going to dwindle into insignificance. No, you need to have a proper plan, you need to develop knowledge, skill, and you need to start utilizing this knowledge and skill and developing and fine-tuning it so that by the time you retire, you can transition into the vocation that really brings meaning to your life personally. And that is really the idea of retirement. It's not to stop working, but is to transition into something that really brings true joy and fulfillment into your life. And that is my personal plan. The challenge with most individuals is that they don't follow these suggestions I've mentioned, but they want to acquire consumer goods when they retire. Things like buying new cars, renovating their houses, buying electronic goods and so on. And realize a couple of years into retirement that they actually broke and those consumer goods are worthless. So don't fall into that trap. You need to start now by channeling most of your funds to acquire real assets, improving your knowledge and skill sets, and then starting a side hustle of some sort that you can develop and leverage over the future so that by the time you retire, you can transition into that full time and allow it to bring you a supplementary income. Don't try to start something new at the point of retirement because the likelihood is it's going to fail if you have not made provisions for it pre-retirement. You need to be able to do these things well before you retire so that you don't face financial pressures when you've retired. I really hope you found value in this video. If so, please like this video and leave a comment letting me know what stood out to you in this video. And most importantly, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And please look out for these videos.
I can feel the pain on my back, yeah. Keep on taking pills every day, yeah. Trying to numb the pain on my back, yeah. Still trying to change on my face.